Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. First and foremost, let me wish you a happy holiday week. And I am quite aware that not many of the viewers might be around because many of you are going to be celebrating with your friends and family this holiday weekend, starting from Christmas all the way to the new year. And if you have found some time, maybe while sitting on the beach or while sitting in your hotel room waiting for a cab or maybe something, you are here. And in this precious time, it is my endeavor to provide you some updates regarding the financial results for the first quarter of this fiscal year 2024 for the Cisco. And as was the expectation, the Cisco has delivered phenomenal results. Its first quarter revenue and the net profit has reached all-time high. But despite these fantastic results, we saw that the stock, its share price actually nosedived after the release, and that is a sort of mystery, but not so much of a mystery if you look at its forward guidance, where it has lowered its expectations of the revenue for the second quarter as well as a couple of quarters after that. And if we take that into account and go through the fine print of the quarterly results, we will come to realize that the track of the company is quite robust, and the trajectory is upward, but the path is not going to be that smooth as was the expectation earlier, and some minor hiccups, some bumps here and there are going to be the part of the journey. But overall, the business scenario is quite good. It is quite conducive to the trajectory for the company's revenues to keep rising, and not sequentially, but over the years, the company is expecting the surge in AI and cloud computing to help its business model, which it is trying to transform, mainly focused on software and subscription. So it is offering and modeling its portfolio accordingly as well. Let us now go through the fine print of the first quarter earnings, with the revenues up 13% and the software subscription revenue also up 13%. The total annualized recurring revenue now stand at $24.5 billion, and the remaining performance obligations are also at a high level of $34.8 billion. If we look at the first quarter 2024 results, the revenues are up 8% year on year, and the EPS has also increased 37% year over year. But if you look at these actual numbers for the first quarter and then the forward guidance for the next quarter, you will see that the company is slashing the forward revenue guidance by almost 2 billion US dollar from the current quarter, and that has sent some jitters across the markets, not across the market, but of course across the investors of the Cisco, and many of them decided to dump the stock, because if the company's revenues are going to be lower in the coming quarter, then the share price is also naturally going to be bearish for a while, and as a result of that, the negative sentiments took hold, and the company stock nosedived more than 10 percentage point. Of course, from those lower levels, Now it is also staging a sort of comeback, but it is still trading after more than a week, still lower compared to where it was prior to the earnings release. If we look at these numbers, you will see that the company is doing quite well, and in the near term, barring this lowering of guidance, the business environment is quite conducive to the growth. These are some of the highlights provided by the company, and I would suggest that you go through the fine print whenever you have time. This information is available on its investors relation page. Some of these acquisitions which have been completed are listed here, while this acquisition of Splunk is work in progress. The guidance has been lowered, and here reasons have also been listed for why the company has decided to lower its forward guidance. This is the consolidated statement of operations, and in it you can see that compared to the quarter ending October 28, 2023, the revenues were quite lower for the same quarter last year. So this has been a quite good run for the company, with revenues rising by almost $1 billion, but it is not likely to be sustained in coming quarter. And as the company had listed on its first page of this earnings report, the net income is at the record level for the company, with this net income standing at US dollar 3.6, with the rise of almost $1 billion in the net income as well. So the company's operating margin has gone up, the company's profit margin has gone up, and you can see that this rise of $1 billion in revenues has resulted in the rise of $1 billion in the net income as well, which is quite a remarkable story. It seems that the company's initiative to cut cost and streamline its operation is sort of paying off, which has resulted in the better margin for the company. And the company has also taken some decisions in the favor of investors and decided to go for the returning of the money from its cash and cash equivalents, and it is going to be spending $2.8 billion on the cash back, because it is sitting on the cash of $11 billion. So here are some of the payments the company is going to make for the shareholders: dividends and repurchase of common stock has been listed. All right, now we head to see what are the business prospects if you are an investor, if you are a trader, from short term, medium term, as well as long term scenario. So if you are looking at this chart of the Cisco since the release of its quarterly earnings, first it stabilized on these lower levels, and from there on, after consolidating around sub 50 levels, it has found sort of bullish momentum on this lower side, and at the moment it is trading close to $50 mark with its near-term bias. has been of making higher highs and higher lows. So unless and until it makes a low below this midpoint of the range, which is just shy of 49, I would continue to prefer to be bullish from the short-term perspective in the Cisco. So adopting a buy on dip strategy is going to be a better idea, but purely from the short term perspective, the things are still dicey, somewhat dicey, you can say, from the other time horizons. But looking at this formation of the Cisco from the short term perspective, and in the face of brutal decline in first session after the earnings release, we have seen this remarkable recovery, and I think that gives us hope for the continuation of this retracement which we are witnessing for last couple of weeks. Now let us look at the medium term, and here the medium term trajectory is not that good as was the case for the short term, and I think you shouldn't be really looking at the prospects of buying the Cisco stock from the time horizon of couple of weeks. Instead of that, I think it will be a better idea to keep an eye on it, and if it doesn't rise much and continues to trade below its recent swing high, which is there around $53, I think we are going to find the opportunities to short sell it in coming weeks. So that is going to be a better deal if your time horizon is of couple of weeks to couple of months, and that might help to be taking a cautious stance here, and going for a wait and watch approach, as I don't really feel that this is the right time to look at the Wipro stock from the point of view of taking a trading decision for next couple of weeks. But as things stabilize and more clarity comes in, of course, we will be better placed to take the next step. From the longer term perspective, the formation is of consolidation. There is no clear bullish or bearish bias, and after this steep decline, which almost wiped out 33% of its market cap, the Cisco has staged a comeback in the second half of this financial year, and after this sharp decline, it found support closer to prior swing low, and from there on, it is again starting to rise. And it is going to be a interesting thing to watch out how it is going to evolve in coming weeks, coming months, because here, as I said, the clarity is not there. It is a bit difficult to make a recommendation of whether to go for a short sale or to go long. And instead of that, I think you should simply prefer to keep an eye on it, as it is staging a recovery after this sharp decline earlier. And if things stabilize, maybe after a couple of months, you are going to be finding a better opportunity from the longer term time horizon. So the takeaway is simple. It is a buy stock buy trade from the short term perspective, but more favorable for the bearish decisions in coming weeks from the medium term perspective, while no trade and wait and watch approach is advisable from the longer term time horizon. So for all the three time horizons, it is giving us a different scenario, and that is creating some sort of confusion, but it is dependent on the time horizon and how you want to trade. So that's all from my side for today's session. If you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback, and I will be more than happy. to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous time ahead. See you next time around. Till then, goodbye.